Good evening, welcome. This is Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Good evening and welcome. This is Monday. Let's welcome our man George from Mount Gibby County, Republic of Liberia. And Mr. Joel Young is in the house. Atlan Johnson to Diana. Good evening. Welcome. Duana, sorry. Yamatrota Kanga. And Madam Agnes Samuka Malba. Good evening and welcome our man to Bransana in UK. The cultures of Liberia has been exhibited right here. It's on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, Liberia Public Radio. We're taking a trip to Nima County this evening. No, usually when I'm heading Granger, I always translate the ambition and get my GB. Samson told he always said that his error. Madam Director Service, good evening and welcome. Well, a lot of news coming from inside Liberia. We're going to give you a conversation here this evening and your thoughts as well and its implication. Who here to give me the interpretations of this song? Good evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Alphonso Zean Soe right here this evening. Time check here in the East Coast. It's 7:09 Eastern Standard Time. This is your informative news magazine, Liberia Public Radio. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Inside Liberia, right here in the USA, Europe, whatever you are, we say good evening and thank you. We value your time so much. And because of the convictions, and together we can get this done. And this is why we are always here every evening, even if the fatigue is killing us. Put cool waters on our faces, and then we come. And now I come here and have another headache to deal with, the most liberal on this network. No babush for a child. We want to welcome you to this program this evening, as usual. I'm right here at the East Coast of the Liberia Public Radio, New England Bureau Desk. Okay, let me go to in Saxton, Sacramento, where the Liberal Progressive is standing by. I'm going to be bringing him here for us to have a conversation. But in the meanwhile, tomorrow is what? Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to be hosting the number 3 man within the executive of the opposition to Unity Party. Amos Soe is the National Secretary General of the Unity Party. He's going to be my guest here on All Things Considered right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. Let me go to Saxton, Sacramento, where the Liberal Progressive of the Liberia Public Radio is standing by. This building behind me here, which happens to be the Executive Mansion, is being slammed today. We're going to have that conversation. So let me bring in the Liberal here. There you see the Liberal Progressive of the Liberia Public Radio, Samson Bloku Brown Toe, is here. Let's see here. Let's give it this color here. Maybe it will be much better. Okay, the Liberal. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Soe. Thank you very much for having us again. We're here to have fun with you and also have a wonderful program as well.
Okay. How is the first day of the week? Today is what, Monday, right?
Excuse me?
Today is Monday, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I thought today was Wednesday.
Well, of course, on your side, looked like it.
What do you mean? What do you mean by on my side? What's that about your side?
Oh, on this side, I know it's Monday.
Yeah. He's starting. That's how he starts. He's starting. Okay. So we woke up early dawn. The Hammond of Uncle Sam, as you know, the Magnitsky sanctions. This 2016, this whole thing came about. Basically, it was targeting the Russians, gulags, but as time goes on, it began to expand and expand. The President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Manawiyat, was taking a tour in the street, and this whole thing dropped. I'm not sure why it looks like, how this information was received. It was processed. But we're talking to folks. There are a lot of intense conversation is ongoing right now. The implications and what could it mean. Whether it's a signal, and that signal will be called, as you know, the American embassy, the ambassador near the capital has been, he has not been silent. He's been speaking out aggressively in public. He's been open with it. This is some sort of prediction. Pundits, political analysts, commentators, we've been hearing from time to time. The first batch, I say the first batch because that's the first names of a high-profile government official. No question about that. The Honorable Nathaniel Falamagi is the right confidant of the President of the Republic of Liberia. I received a statement here from Secretary General Amos Soe of the opposition's Unity Party, which, of course, the opposition will have to, with media release, I'm going to go through down here and see what it says. But let me just bring you in here, the Liberal. How significant in terms of hitting national government with this? What are you hearing from your end?
Thank you, Mr. Soe. I think this is big, and most likely we don't know how big it is until it starts taking effect. It didn't just start recently. We've been hearing about it from time to time that it was coming, but many of us didn't think it was going to come this soon, and that in this critical time, in terms of Liberian upcoming election and what have you. Those who were hit are high power officials who are contributed to the CDC war chest in terms of finances. So it's a big deal. But here's what I want to take out of this here very quickly. There was a young man and that was working in Buchanan Port. And when he was working at Buchanan Port, for some reason, he fled and came to the United States. And he wrote a paper detailing some of the stuff that was happening as well, detailing everything that went on, how the money, he collects money and how he turned it over to the Bill Twiley and everything else. So people were watching. He's here in the United States. If this young man was truly guilty of corruption, I think by now Uncle Sam would have gone after him. There's no question asked. But they were taking note of those things. Now, then on top of it, Minister McGill, like I've always stated, CDC and sedition, whenever they have something good happening, that people start praising them, start talking good about them, they will put their foot in their own mouth. The president was in Ivory Coast during the celebration of the Ivorian Independence Day. And McGill decided to go visit Bon County. And he decided to come up with this reckless statement. McGill is not somebody who Johnny come lately with Liberian politics, as far as Liberian politics is concerned. McGill is an intellectual, highly educated. Why would you make a statement like that? Why would you make a statement like that? And especially when the president has been told that he was going to be coming to this United States along with other African leaders. With this kinds of thing hanging over him coming here, people are going to look at him funny. So what I want to say here very quickly, and I will be saying it all night, I think all three of these gentlemen, they should do the honorable thing. They should do the honorable thing and relieve their friend of all of this headache. They should resign. It shouldn't come to the point where you will be forced to relieve them. They should resign. Do the honorable, because if they resign now, they can stay in the background and still be able to manipulate the system. But they are not in a key position. But if they get fired, because he's going to have to be forced to do that, then there will be some bad blood among them. So I would say to the three gentlemen, the three honorable, to please resign.
To please resign. We want to welcome our man, Sisigoyo, is our contributor here. I'm watching from Pumpkin Palm Bridge. Where they get Pumpkin Palm Bridge? Do you know Pumpkin Palm Bridge?
I think that Beaumont Bridge in Philadelphia somewhere.
What do you mean in Philadelphia? So that Philadelphia, they got Pumpkin Palm Bridge here?
They got Beaumont Bridge. I don't know what Pumpkin Palm Bridge is. I've never seen Pumpkin Palm since I left Old Town.
Okay, hopefully everything is okay out there. And I'm not sure whether you're in a comfortable position to join us. If that's the case, just shoot me a message and but we know what is it. But let's validate what you were saying. As a matter of fact, the number two, or is a close confidence, no question about that. Nathaniel McGee, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, who happens to be the immediate, a close confidant to the president. Let's see what happens in Bangat. This thing here, I'm not sure. Politicians, they are just who they are, and let's see. Let's play this here and let hear it from the house. Courtesy of our sister network televisions in Liberia.
Some point in the country, all government are here, that's the money. But we say all our money, the school will go to our people there, go to invest. I can't be all in bank and invest. So I was going to tell you money I carry to Ghana, correct? But bank and get out of me, I will take it from you, Gary. And I'll leave it here. Yes. If they go take me, I'll tell her with me. I Our grandchildren will kind of see the ones that were looking back. It was good power there. So these are the things we'll be doing. I just want to say thank you to for doing what he's doing. What is the government doing? He's just doing it bad. One day will not be represented.
So help me God. And you have the people there that were answering you. No. Like a mass choir. Something is lacking. We're going to come to this conversation here. Something. Is it look this thing? Is it normal, Mr. Toll? I'm not hearing you.
Mr. So, as I stated here the last time, the complacents. I mean, there's no consequence of their bad deals. The president being in power now, they've been in power for 5 years or so, and there's no reshuffle. So these people have become rigid in their position. They are now so confident that they will make statements that are you. Okay, for example, McGill. I don't know him, but if you read about him, he's educated, highly educated. He's not somebody that just come into Liberian politics and say, well, maybe he was anxious. Why would make him to make get to him to make that kind of statement in public? He's been in Liberian political arena for a very long time. But I tell you what, if you know, Alfonso, some of us pay keen attention to little stuff. Almost 4 years ago, there was the auto release by from the Bond County superintendent at the time, Esther, I believe it called her Esther Walker. Yes. When she told us exactly how these 3 people, Honorable McGill, Honorable Toy, Honorable Jefferson Kochi, are positioning themselves to run this country. Now, the question is, all of these 3 gentlemen, they are not people to say that they don't particularly care for the country. I won't say that. But for some reason, these 3 gentlemen have become so rigid in their position, they will make some statement that you think they say, why would this smart young man would make statement like this? And this is exactly what has happened, Mr. Soe, because for McGee to sit there and make these kinds of statements, it is ridiculous. Now, the sanction, most likely they had it coming, but perhaps it was not about to be released. But because of that statement, that these people couldn't sit on it anymore. They said, no, we got to let these people know that we're serious for business. Now, why will you, and once again, why will you put your friend whom you have worked with all these years, why will you put him in this kind of position? So even if the United States government welcomes him, he's going to be in there with his colleagues. Other presidents from other country will be jacking him for position, will be jacking him for money, because that's basically what they're here for. To say, look, I have more problems on my hand than any other person. Can you guys help us? Now, if you have a man who's going around bragging about stealing, why would the government? And this is the man who is the front of the government, the face of the government, pretty much. Why would anybody want to do business with you? And if you go on the website, on the Treasury website, and read what they wrote, Mr. Soe, it's very, very discouraging what they wrote. And international community, people will read it. People who want to do business in Liberia will read it. This is big. It's big, and I'll read that later on, but it's big.
Oh, the issue of why would he put his friends? I believe you're making reference to the president, correct?
Yeah, Doctor, we are.
Is the president in isolation with such a comment? Is he not aware? Is he not monitoring his official things to say out there, the repercussions and the backlash?
So when you guys come out and make these kinds of statements, then somehow I question many of you that will come out and try to make these kinds of statements about the president. Then somehow I question your ability to understand Liberia and Liberians. And you're not a young man when you're grown Liberian before coming in this country. You know who we are. These people, Honorable McGill, Honorable Toy, Honorable Jefferson Kochi, they go way back with this president. And this president, once he feels that you and he are friend and your lawyer, he will pay back in loyalty as well. It's been going on for months and years and years. So for people to say, is the president isolated? No, the president is not isolated. But sometimes, like I said, these people take it to the next level, knowing full well there's no consequence. And power can make people drunk too, you know? So the president, no, he's not isolated. The president is quite aware of it. But he didn't think that these people will go out and make these kinds of statements. For example, look at Samuel Tua's statement. You'll make for people to be afraid of the president, benevolent dictator. Why will you come out and make a statement like that when the president is going around telling the international community that he's a peaceful man?
Let's bring you this news coming in. What this seems to be more serious than we thought. What we are hearing, intense conversation is ongoing now within the establishment GOL, that's the government of the Republic of Liberia, following this slam, this hammer coming from Alphonso Zean and other diplomatic sources near the capital. These information yet to be authenticated. Ghana, Burkina Faso, neighboring country now, they are keeping close eyes on the wealth of these people. It is reported, yet to be verified, some good capital is outside and perhaps the grips has been tightened. Sanction, in another word, is completely isolation. Where is Nathaniel Falamagi this evening, this hour? Is somebody providing therapy? They counseling him? What do you think going through the heads of the president? Now, remember, he's a close confidant to the president. So the possibility of he being in charge of a lot of things we yet to know, but we are hearing, even if it is only true that they are taking close eyes on Ghana and places that they have been going. And usually, you know, Uncle Sam, you know what happens, you know what to yourself. I don't want to call that here. I will try to be nice to you, to you here this evening.
It is not about me, and please don't bring up my you know what. That's not what we're here to discuss this evening, please.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I would be nice to you. So don't try to get under my skin. Then probably I could make a mistake and bring it out. And I don't intend to do that. So just be in fine line here. But on a serious note, they are looking a lot of places right now. And neverness is kicking in. Neverness is kicking in. They are looking at a lot of places right now, according to unconfirmed news, but coming from diplomatic headquarters. And that's something should claim the attention of the president. And we hear intense conversation going. What is the nature of that conversation? So we have seen official statement here from GOL. We're talking to other media gurus, former government officials, other people. Some wanted to keep it for the president not to see what was happening, which is common because the president could be busy. He's not a guy. He's not going to be twisting it, but they are there. They should be able to provide him, bring him up to date. They should have a regular briefing. That's not something you can just slide on the door without the president. What is the thought process at this time?
Mr. Soe, I don't know because I'm not one of the insiders. But here's what I'm going to tell you. When I went to Liberia a few months back, the Liberian Engineers Society had their convention in Banga. And the German, Swedish government that usually sponsor most of the projects in Liberia, their representative who's in charge of all of the infrastructure projects from the country was there. So I interviewed him, and I have the tape. I'm going to play them one day. So the first question that I asked him was, how's everything? He said, oh, this is what we do. He explained himself and everything else. So I asked him, aren't you guys responsible, knowing fully well that there are people that you're dealing with in terms of project, and they're asking for kickback from contractor, from other companies in Liberia, and you guys are quite aware of it, but yet still you keep giving these people money to do business, and you're not responsible for that. You know what he told me? I have it on tape. He did not tell me no. He didn't answer no. You know what he told me? He said, Mr. Toe, I will ask you to come to my office next week, Monday, and I will take you to the ambassador of Germany. And then you will ask that question, because it's a question many of us that are connected been asking, but they keep saying, oh, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. And those are, I mean, he told me, play. I have it on tape. I have it on tape. And I will play it someday. But the point that I'm trying to make here, Mr. Soe, is one of the things that people point out, that McGill is involved in kickback. Why would McGill, the connection about the East International Company that has nothing, no credibility whatsoever when it comes to construction? But according to story,
go ahead.
According to story, Mr. Honorable McGill is connected with it. And therefore, East International that has no machinery whatsoever was giving $110 million contract to do Ralphie Highway. I have people who are working on that project right now, and they report to me most of the time, things are not going well because of these kinds of stuff. When you struggle to get Liberia into a position, and I say struggle because people like McGill and the CDC, when they were in opposition, we saw them struggling and hoping, many of them hoping that when they come to power, they will try to change things around. But to have you, someone who was solely involved in the struggle with CDC, as a chairman of CDC, now to have sanction on you, and you want the president, what is he supposed to do? He's your friend. And Dr. Weir doesn't like to fire people. So I'm saying again,
so
the honorable thing these three gentlemen need to do, resign. Because if you resign, you make Uncle Sam to know that he at least something is going to change. And then they might relax. They might relax their sanction policy application with relationship to other country, neighboring country. But if you sit in there, they will tighten the screw on you, and eventually it's going to go to Dr. Weir. And this is the smartness that I'm hoping to see. From now to the end of this week, I'm hoping to see that Honorable McGill and the rest will resign.
It has not happened in the past. There's no evidence. We don't see any footprint that it's going to happen now. But here is the thing here. I'm not sure how people are aware that the severity of this whole thing here, because when sanctions being slammed at you, nobody want to do business with you. I'm not sure what are you going to see him out there again to divide money, to do anything more or less. He is the chairperson, literally is the chairperson, that is the face of the CDC, of the president's re-election, giving money out and all of that. And when international community, big institution, because this sanction is extensive, because they are also saying anybody doing business, anybody having some sort of a collaborations or talking to these gentlemen that are being sanctioned, the possibility those who also involved in that conversation will be slammed. So what you're talking about now, 90% or 85% of initiative all comes to Uncle Sam. There are so many ways to give their fundings to other organizations. So believe me, all of these ties are going to be caught. So it's a complete isolation by itself, because
yes,
and this is what I want for he to resign. I think it is the president should take this decision. Bill Tuare, he wants to go to the Senate from River says. I don't even know. He's strategically positioned as what? National Port Authority Managing Director. You're not going to sit down in Monrovia. You are the chief executive of the Port Authority. So yes, if sanction is on, this is so strategic, it's so significant. I don't know how much this is beyond CDC and this party. It's more like indirectly. Okay, to say individuals being targeted. Yes, I agree, individuals being targeted. But what is the role of these individuals in national government? You have a solicitor general when we get a fragile judiciary system, who is one of the chief prosecutors now, who was talking about retrieving government assets. You know, this whole thing here, it started all 2016, yeah, when it was passed here in the US, 90 to 4, and then the House 365 to 43, purposely meant to hit that is the Russians' gulag, but they are being extended over the period of time to foreign government officials, human rights abuses, corruption, money, and all of those stuff here. So, do you think the president this time will pull the horn? Because after all, the donkey back is already been broken. All you need to do now is to take it. Do you think the president will move step forward?
The president, Mr. Soe, the president has no choice. His hand is going to be forced. And so I'm saying to these three gentlemen, they are friends with the president. They know each other well. So you cannot put your friend in this type of binding. Your best bet is to undo an honorable thing and resign. Because if you resign, you will still have the inside track with the president. Let me read something to you, how serious this thing is. Many people, many sedition who stuff I've been reading on Facebook all day today, making light of this. This is sanction implication from the U.S. Department of Treasury, their website. As a result of today's action, all property, interest in property of these targets are in the United States or in the possession of control of U.S. person must be blocked and reported to the Treasury Department. In addition, any entity that are owned directly or indirectly 50% or more by one or more black person are also black. Okay. The regulation generally prohibit all dealing by U.S. persons, not U.S. government, U.S. person, or within
individuals,
exactly,
organizations,
exactly, all
everybody,
all within
octopus sanction,
exactly, all within the United States. Okay, within the U.S. person or within the United States, including transaction or transition the United States that involve any property or interest in property are black. In addition, the person that are engaged, the person that are engaged in certain transaction with the individuals, an entity designated today, excuse me, may themselves be exposed to sanction. Mr. Soe, this is big. It's big because Bill Trolley is at the port dealing with foreign entity, and if he's on sanction list,
you can talk to anybody.
You think the people want to do business with
the administration of MP?
No. And so and this is what I'm saying. Dr. Weah's hand is so tied. He has no choice. And so since he doesn't like to fire people, you would think Honorable McGill, Honorable Tiwe, and Honorable Seaford would do the honorable thing and don't put your brother in this type of situation where he will be forced to make this kinds of drastic action. You guys came from a long way. Your brothers, your kin together. Now, help us out and resign so this man can come to America without any kind of excess baggage. Please resign, all three of you. And if you do it now, I'm begging you, if you do it now, you will still have inside track. Dr. Weah is whoever you're going to put in there will be a clear understanding. If it's somebody filling McGill's position, there will be a clear understanding that McGill is running the show. You just hear. And that's the kind of person they will bring in. So please resign so this young man can come here with a free hand and be able to mingle among his friends without any kinds of hesitation whatsoever. I'm begging these people, Mr. Soe.
You're more or less like a soothsayer here. My line, the phone is bustling here with messages coming from all sectors, even people within the establishment. Intense fighting conversation is ongoing, like you rightfully say, asking these three gentlemen to resign so as not to have the president implicated in this. And this speaks to the fact that was what 1980. There was a 80 something. The former minister of finance, Alvin Jones, now minister, now Representative Matthew Zaza, want to who are calling for the overhaul of the Ministry of Finance, the broader expertise. After that report, Samuel Doe, who was then military transition to civilians, that blood pattern is still there, was forced to take some actions in order to stabilize the conversation and give some sort of face to say, oh, here, this guy is in charge. That was a strong recommendation from Uncle Sam at the time. Like, hey, these guys can be here. Immediately, the president, the late Samuel Doe, I recalled Alvin Jones, Matthew Zaza, and others. Even though they were put into other places, but that was not a sanction. But this one here is a sanction. And it went on to say there is no status of limitation to this year. It doesn't mean when President Weah, even though CDC said 12 years, okay, so let's give it to them. That's their point of argument. Fair to give it to them. The Liberian people can decide on that. But there's no status of limitation on this. Now that when George Weah leave, that's auto a okay. Now that we give it 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, no. This is huge. This is extensive. And like you rightfully said, if you have never had a true confection on this network, that's exactly what you are doing. The president hands are tied, the feet and all. I'm going to add the feet to it because Nathaniel McGee is 100% in, and President Weah, the confidence ain't the Minister of State. I don't see it any other one. And this is why he becomes the face of the CDC. No evidence. Molba Molo, who is the chairperson of the chairman of the ruling party, is not involved to campaign. McGee is in and out 24/7, but I think that will be subsided. That I can tell you, because with all this are going, and what you just read, it's like, okay, they put blockade on something to you think something to it one. You try to do business with me, they want to grab you. And who knows, your wife, your son, and everybody, there is no status of limitation in this year.
Right.
People, they are folks are in denial. They don't see it to be anything. And what is so confusing and is hair scratching, usually this kind of thing, government GOL people are going to respond. But where do you begin? And how do you end? I want to see how that or statement will be crafted, the intro and the endings. That would be the interesting part. What are you going to say? I see some folks say, well, you should retaliate. Retaliate to who? Uncle Sam? To what? Well, to say what?
These are the people that are still in denial, and they will wake up. They'll find out.
They're not even doing the president good. They are not doing the president good. Some of these friends to the president. So does he have to wait for them to resign, or he should?
Yes. Right now, I want to believe
African politicians are not noted for that. They don't take responsibility.
No, but this is quite different. This is quite different. Liberia is considered a stepchild to that of the United States. And the U.S. government right now, if they say this is what we want in Liberia, they will get it. Nobody will say no. And knowing fully well, look at the amount of citizens of Liberia here residing here in the United States, more than any other country. Like having Liberia residing in any other country is here in the United States. So, Mr. Soe, what I'm saying here is, if McGill, he's a smart guy. I think right now in their own circle, they're seriously considering that McGill resign.
Yeah. And that's a conversation ongoing.
Yes, if he resign. Mm-hmm. If he resign, McGill would be one of those that will stand and pick his successor. But if he doesn't resign and has Dr. we are hands forced to say you guys gonna, which he's not going to do. He's not going to fire them.
Yeah, no, but yeah, okay. Then you are gradually riding the back of the alligator.
Exactly.
Now,
And
they are saying
the U.S. If these people don't resign and he doesn't fire them, then the sanction is not just going to be on those that McGill and the people and the three of them, but then the sanction going to be extended to anyone that doing business with them,
including the president,
including anyone.
No, I'm not talking about it. I'm worried. I don't want that sanction to go on the president. The president has
the sanction. They're not going to sanction the president.
No, listen. They might not call his name. Uncle saying you acting. I will bring your. I will make mistake. I will make mistake. Email.
You argue. I'm still gonna be Krogo man. You know, okay, don't matter.
No, but on a serious note, is the thing. They are telling us, they are telling you, Alphonso now is XYZ, don't do business, but you stay hanging out with me. You are in violations of the sanctions.
Yes, right. But this is what I'm saying, Mr. Soe. If the president is not able to take to muster the
why
courage,
will he not be able? That's the thing.
Mr. Soe, why will you want you? We got to go through this again. This man does not like to hurt anybody.
Oh, so we should be hurt.
No, I'm just saying this. See, that's not in his nature. That's not in his nature to fire anybody.
You and I always divide road.
Mr. Soe, I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for that. So please, I'm not here to please you. No, I'm not here to please anybody else. I'm local. My ain't paying anybody more. They ain't paying my more. I say as I see it. So please.
Yeah, this is what you're good at. When you're ready to muddy the water, that's when you can come with that total quotation. My head not saying nobody. Or now you are telling us, we or Liberian or my president, your president, even though you're Liberty Party man, you claim it to be it.
He's still my president.
Yeah, okay, that's that one. I respect you. You are telling us that the president should be used as a sacrificial lamb for Mangi. They are saying anybody who do business with him, man, who appoints him to that position? Why will you come here that he shouldn't do it and he doesn't want to do it? Is that why you're supposed to?
Mr. Soe, let me disabuse you a little bit about our president. Since this man came to power, when was the last time? The only thing he does is suspend somebody in time indefinitely.
That's what Sierra Leoneans do. They already say go for steady.
The point that I'm making, the point, and look, who are those people? Those are low people within the CDC hierarchy. Minister Fagon used to be United Man, and he jumped on CDC by worker. So he's not an insider. Dr. Weah is not going to look at an insider and say you're fired.
ALP.
Yeah. He's not going to look at an insider and say you're fired. What I'm saying here is what most likely will happen.
It's not a good thing to do.
No, he will. Honorable McGill, all three of them, they are friends with Dr. You think Sarenza Siva were working in any other government? By this time, he's gone long time ago. So you know that.
Is that Bill Traore to call Jiyong Bakugba, right?
Yeah, Bakugba. Bill Traore in a situation comes about from that young man from Buchanan when he wrote that piece. And then none of these people came out to distance themselves from it. There was no denial, nothing. They just let it go. What they failed to realize, and this is what you always say, you say if people drop any pin, you pew the government, you got mouthpiece, they will pick that pen to explain it. That's what they don't do. When that young man wrote that piece, narrating all that happened, how did he can go and get money on behalf of Bill Traore and gain money, and then he believed Bill Traore would take the money out to McGill or to the president. None of these people came out to distance themselves. They didn't deny nothing. They just hoping that, the thing will go away. People in the United States, they were watching, they were reading. So they're not going to sit down. So the point here now, Mr. Soe, is this. These three gentlemen must resign. Because here's another thing about this, about my proposal and asking them to resign. If they resign, the first thing they're gonna do is relieve Dr. Weah of all the burden when he gets here for questioning and everything else. He will come here and he will say, people, he will say you're gay or something.
No, let me ask you, and God forbid you, because the way you talk, the way you do things, you can't even be paramount chief. But let me make you president for discussion purposes. If you were Dr. Weah in this sort of situation, I am the Minister of State. You're from Town, I'm from BI, and did this. What will you do?
I can't fire you.
You can fire me?
No.
So you put the interest of the individual and compromise the affairs of the state. That's why you're simply telling me.
No, far from it. Far from it. The president is a human being himself.
Wow.
Before president. Second, Mr. Soe, you have to understand. You acting like you're just coming from.
I'm not understanding anything.
No,
you're not saying anything. No. I don't even want to.
Grew up in Liberia. You were in Liberia during the war. This is something deeper than just coming here and say the president this and that. These people were friends. They fought in the well, not literally, but they fought politically in the same trenches. These people, they were having their connection every night. How to run the campaign. So they are connected.
Starting a revolution. Starting a revolution.
This is not about that.
That's it.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point. But of course, I'm not surprised. As a conservative, these are the kinds of ideas you guys. As a liberal, I see things from a broad perspective.
I don't even understand. You don't even sound like a liberal.
I am a liberal.
The liberal want good governance. The liberal
I do, and that's what I'm saying, Mr. Soe. Because I want good governance, I'm not going to lie. Because I want good governance, I'm not going to say what I know is not. It's not going to happen. If Honorable McGill and the two other honorable, if they refuse to resign, Dr. Weah will have no choice but to fire them now.
Who should lead their cause to ask them to resign?
Sedition, the hierarchy, sedition. Your Monuba Molo, your Jefferson Kochi, all of the people that are close to the president that are sedition, they should now have an inside meeting instead of running around the street like I saw them doing today.
Who runs the day-to-day affairs of the state?
The president.
The president.
Yes, but this is what I'm saying. Your speaker, your deputy speaker, your president pro tem, they should all converge on the president of the president tonight.
To do what?
And have this serious conversation to ask the three gentlemen to resign.
No, that is on governance.
Okay, but in the process, and let me be ridiculous now. Let me be ridiculous.
You always.
Yes, yeah. I'm block who? Where you do to me nothing. My ain't paying your boy. You ain't paying my boy. Where you do to me nothing. I'm block who? But let me be ridiculous now. In the process of having this meeting, there will be negotiation, and the negotiation, I believe, from McGill and the three people, they will say, okay, we're going to leave, but we will be involved in the selection process for who fill our position. And that will be agreed upon.
It's not a violation. It's not a violation.
What violation in Liberia, Mr. Soe? You talking? We're here in Washington, D.C. We said Liberia. So why will you not deal with the people in Liberia just like Liberian? See, this is a problem y'all get. Then when y'all go on there, you all start struggling because you're not used to the system again. I mean, I got there, I know the system, I'm part of the system.
So you all have to corrupt the system.
Mr. Soe, that's different. I'm not corrupt. I'm not a corrupt human being.
I know that you're not corrupt, but you do things. So let's see. Let's take phone calls here and make it because people are doing here. Okay, caller. Good evening. So what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Soe, how you doing?
Good.
How's your body, Max?
Yes, I know. Good evening.
I'm all right. Yeah.
Let me just put a number here so we can have our folks to also call.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead. With this.
I follow your show. It's kind of very interesting, but Mr. Mr. Soe is saying that it's just like you live in a twilight zone. You live in this people country. You know how these people they will work. When you see they come up with a final decision, as you rightly said, There is no time or limitation. Once you put you on that sanction, they can decide when to move you from there. There is no time. That's number one. And number two, the government, the American people have been patient with our government. In the very first start, let's be frank, if the man has all that money, but it's just like, say, my brother, you and your wife, you live together for 10 years in a two-bedroom apartment, and you're trying to buy a house. You'll get all the savings. God forbid, either you pay or the woman pay. After 2 months, then you went and go do what? And then you go buy a house.
Mm-hmm. Are you there?
Yes, sir. And you know, so you go buy a house. You know the perception the Liberian community will get. Oh, that woman okay, husband for insurance money. When that man made that mistake, I know somebody in the high class in this government. I said that's a mistake that this man made for him to break down a house and start building houses. You know, even if that is money. So you know what happened? It's like open a Pandora bag. These other guys within now, all kind of thing. So you know, whether they resign or not, you know, they already make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quickly, so I will go to the next caller.
Take my call, but okay. Stay on the show. I enjoying it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Mikey.
Hey, Mr. Soe.
Good evening.
How you doing on this morning, evening?
Oh man, I am beating the liberal.
No, far from it.
He needs rescue now. Somebody needs to resuscitate him. Go ahead.
And I'm not gonna come to that either. I'm not gonna rescue you tonight.
Go ahead.
Yeah, today is one of my happiest days as a Liberian, especially somebody who has been advocating that the United States government can help us weed out corrupt individuals and put them on sanction list. You know, I'm so happy. In fact, I'm gonna go back again to my Congress lady here, try to get on her back, and also add additional need to that. Like, we're getting close to the ringleader. We're getting close. We are kind of screwing that up. You know, we'll get there. Gradually, we'll get there. Imagine this Minister for Presidential Affairs went to my county that I love, Bond County, openly stated that even if we see we are doing this here and doing that here, you know, so today it's like a public rebuke from the United States government that even if the Bond County
okay, hold on, let's go to this. Is quite interesting there. Don't go, but I'm going to put you on hold. Let's go to UK. Liberians across country are concerned. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Soe. How you doing?
Good. How are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's AB calling from UK.
AB, welcome.
Yeah, bro. Thank you. I always follow the show.
Oh, thank you so much. And also, quickly here. Are you a fan of me or a fan of the Liberal? Do you where are you? Let's do a voting here quick.
Mr. Soe, I'm a fan of Labour.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm a fan of him.
Okay, I will call that sanction. That sanction will go on you too. Oh my goodness! What? Yeah, the war is not fair. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Soe, you see, what happened to these people today is just a prelude to what will come after. Mr. Soe, when you're stealing from people openly, you look at what Maggie did. Liberians are going to bed with no food in their stomach. The men went and built whole compound and put a man day inside there.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Soe, when you do, there are some things there that you get power to do, that you get money to do. Sometimes you don't do them. You don't do them because of the environment.
Let's take the day out of this whole thing here.
But some of these things that they do, that the other people look, what me and you overlook, people don't overlook them.
I didn't overlook it. We talk it here, but these are kind of like
if you build a whole compound, electric the place, and put somebody to be a security guard, and then why the other Liberians hasn't got security? They don't get security. People are dying every day. Corruption is killing people. Hunger, people are dying with hunger. Now they want to open school. People don't get money to even pay their children's school fees. Then you can open it and tell the people, say, and you can steal the money, you can't use it to you. The way you're saying now, we don't want to stop me here. So I just take some of your money to come show to you. Mr. Soe, God is not sleeping. God not sleeping. That God beating the people. So, for the beginning of Georgia administration, Liberian people asked Georgia to let Maggie go. He refused to listen to the Liberian. Now, the white people tell him, say Maggie will go. Let us see that whether Maggie will go or he will not go. We're not happy. They are our brothers. But at the end of the day, they are suffering our people. Mr. So you know the kind of stress me and you went through in the Western world. The kind of human being that calling every day for money. It never used to happen like that. Yeah, it's a shame. So these guys deserve to go, and most of them will follow. We will continue to swear them, so they don't have money in their stomach. We will swear them until they will expose on all of them. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So they don't have money in their stomach.
Okay, Mike, Mikey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, make your point quickly before I go back to Tiff. Yeah, make your final point.
Yeah. Just to close up quickly, like the caller was saying, we are not happy with the kind of calls that we continue to get from Liberia, the inbounces in our DM, and all of that asking for help. And sometimes you don't have it, but if you say it, it's almost like you don't want to help nobody but for women, you know. And to differ the brother on our end, I'm very happy that those guys have been placed on the essential list. I'm very happy today. I'm so excited. I don't know what to
Aliyu,
do.
the phone number is visible on screen there. Why would you say, Aliyu, put your glasses on. Go ahead.
Hello, you say what?
No, not you. Aliyu somebody trouble, man. He always give me trouble when he come here. The number right on the screen. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So as I was saying, I'm so happy today. I'm very, very happy. I just pray to God that as we get closer to the ring leader, God can get a long life so that we can see that particular day that they will be in the orange uniform, and we can notify them in our period. Ain't no diary for posterity. God bless Liberia, and thank you to the United States government. I'm very proud of you today.
Wow. Whew. Okay, thank you so much. So, the Liberal.
Yes, first thing I want to do here is to welcome my own brother, Mr. Soe, who is joining up all the way from Liberia tonight. And I want to say, my brother, welcome. Look, Mr. Soe, look, I know Liberians all over are joyful tonight because of this. And you can't take it for fun, because way back, Moruba Molu told us that McGill is the most hated person in the whole entire country. Because when I was in Liberia, immediately after the election, when people were going in with their CV for jobs and stuff like that, it immediately became clear to all of us that in order for you to get anything in this government, job or whatever, you have to go through McGill, and you have to pay according to the story that comes out. So it's not just now. But the point is this. Dr. Weah himself didn't do a favor for himself as well. Immediately after the election, to go and build those expensive in Liberian term now, condominium and place on 12th Street, whatever street in Sinka. That didn't go down well with Liberians either. Now, I'm not sitting here that he took Liberian people, but I'm not suggesting that at all. Because even if he didn't have the money, but anybody that have position in Liberia, you can go to 11 people and they will borrow you money. You can go to a bank, you will borrow money from them because they know you have means to pay back. But they smell, it didn't smell good, it didn't taste good, it didn't seem to be good. Now, let me go back again to my own point. And I hope these inept opposition, they better not come and try to play with this one here. This is not something for them to come.
You are part of it.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of opposition. I'm not truthful opposition. I'm a truthful opposition. I'm different from the inept opposition we have. And people who not ready to seek the interest of the Liberian people except to seek their own interest. That's not the kind of opposition.
Who are those opposition?
Dr. Bakai and Honorable Combs. I'm not cool. My hair fading about their hair fading. I'm being truthful. So let me just say this. This just better stay away from this. If they're going to be speaking, in order for them to be helpful, they better bring some suggestion. But not to come in and play politics with this. The political time is coming. It's not so the Liberal is on the floor. You cannot have this kinds of conservative behavior trying to interrupt the liberal whenever you feel like. And this is just something that the liberal is not willing to take. In fact, just because of me being this tough on both of you, your central right have run away from us. He's not coming back again. Apparently not. The other Minnesota politician, he's in Liberia. I don't know when he's coming back. So right now, I'm enjoying myself. Let me just say this to you, Mr. Soe. On a very serious note, I will pray and hope that our brothers, the three gentlemen, will do the honorable thing to resign before the end of this week. Because let me point this out again. If they do resign, that will also lessen the pressure on the U.S. government to say, okay, these people are serious. Perhaps they heard our message. But if these people stay, Doctor, we are coming here. The American government will tighten that screw of the sanction, and it will affect the port of Liberia. And if food coming in after they don't want to do business with the people who are in charge, how are you going to get your stuff out? It's a mess. It's a mess.
The question goes to you, and I'm about to disabuse you right now, because your governing style, it will follow you're going to send us to hellfire. That's exactly the double standard game you are playing right now. I hope they will resign. You are not willing to take a decision because I don't know who you really advising, because if anybody who allows you to counsel them, then there's going to be a problem, because when we follow your governance style, you are telling me and telling other patriotic Liberians, what are you looking at? I'm talking to you.
I'm listening to you. Wait a minute. You want to start a fight with a liberal tonight? Is that what you're trying to do?
I know what you're doing, because right now somebody is getting under your skin now, and that's why you're looking at your dashboard to see what they're saying. But on a serious note, if we follow your governance style, you know what?
Mr. Soe, you have to. Okay, go ahead. Finish your point.
When we follow, and I'm about to tell our followers, they should not listen to you. They shouldn't take your counsel, because what you are doing, you are literally telling the president to also violate the sanction. The sanction is clear cut. They say anyone, the president is not exempted. This communication, this language is directly to the president. You put in there, this is what they are doing. We are being alarming this thing over and over.
Mr. Soe, I hate to interrupt. There's nothing in the language of sanction that these people not only should be isolated, but that they shouldn't be talking to anybody. There's nothing there to say all friendships should be cut off. No. No. So
is that a friendship government?
Mr. Soe, what you think this is? These are friends.
These are all national issues. We are talking
yes, I agree. Mr. Soe, look, you will not bamboozle me to take on your conservative idea. Ain't happening.
No, you're not helping.
No, it is because you're trying to. You think if the audience, if they say we're not going to listen to Mr. Soe, is that going to stop me from talking? I'm blocked. My hearing failure more. They are hearing failure more. What they will do to me? I'm not here to please anybody. I'm here to be factual. What I believe to be facts. And here is one of them.
Where is it?
Dr. Weah does not like to fire somebody. Facts. Dr. Weah is friend with the three. Mr. Soe, the liberal is speaking. Will you please let the liberal make his point, please? The second point, facts. The three gentlemen, the three honorable gentlemen are friends with the president. Fact. Fact 3. The three gentlemen were also in the trenches, of the political fight, political struggle of CDC. So they have had some sort of a connection. And because of the American sanction, which is in place, you are now asking these people to break their connection, their personal connection. It don't happen overnight.
No, so what
I'm saying to you. This is what I'm saying to you. And this is what I'm saying to these gentlemen, the honorable gentlemen. Your friendship with Dr. Weah is strong. Do us a favor. Resign so he can have breathing room.
Okay, on the flip side, if these three gentlemen, you appealing to them to resign, if they refused to resign, what should the president do?
Yes.
Yes, what?
This is the interesting dynamic right now. If what I'm saying doesn't pan out, and these people refuse, well, not refuse, but if these people stay in power, Dr. Weah will be forced to set them aside or do a reshuffle.
No, don't come speaking.
Mr. Soe, I'm politically talking to you right now. Please don't force me to use languages that are somehow out of the realm of a liberal. Please, you know what I'm talking about. Set them aside, whatever, reshuffle, whatever. But the point here is this: if that happens, then you can tell that Dr. Weah most likely would not want to seek second term. If Dr. Weah is forced to make these decisions, then most likely he's not going to seek second term, because these people, these three gentlemen, are politically like it's Bible.
So, here is the thing here, and you always in the sort of double standards, and it's just unfair. Now you're giving justifications. In fact, you have outlined, making the persuasive argument here this evening that they should not resign. Literally, that's what you're telling me. That's how.
No, I said.
Hold on. Let me say. Yeah, no, you are saying it indirectly. I'm looking between the lines, and your language being deployed here, outline justifications, making it concrete. They were in the trenches to the president. They were fighting to get to be where they are. So for this reason, now they are at the point they shouldn't resign. You are simply telling me.
Mr. So why would you put words in the liberal mouth when
I'm
the
not
liberal
putting words in your mouth. That's what you said.
No, I said they should resign.
And I said, what happens if they can't resign?
Then I said the president will do reshuffle, set them aside. You want me to use a specific language, and I'm not going to do that because that's not in my liberal vocabulary to do that tonight.
Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
From the West African nation of Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia Public Radio and Television present Business Diary. This program focuses on the activities of business institutions and individuals in society.
I'm Jeremiah Zhao Senior, CEO of All Nation Bank. It has been very good to have this business established here. We are 1 year since we opened here in Anono. There have been few challenges here that have faced in this country, and that is all about the language. But here instead, I refuse to be deterred. I refuse to be discouraged. I open a business and things have been fine.
My name is Mercy Bangarilanga. I am a finance officer working for an international organization. I have a master's degree in business administration. So today I'd like to take the opportunity to talk to you about the COVID pandemic and how it has affected the business sector in terms of me working in an organization, an international organization.
Don't miss out. Be my guest. It's coming soon on Liberia Public Radio and Television.
Okay, there's women in the West African states of Abidjan's Business Diary is on. Something to let us say you are engineered, a certified engineer for the state of California, but you are not a certified historian. Do you have a 2A?
Well, why would you say that? I'm listening to you.
No, I'm still not getting that attention yet because I want you to reflect on history, not just on the history of Liberia.
Okay. I'm listening.
History of the war.
Okay, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Let me beat some senses in your head.
Please.
Do you remember what happens in South Africa?
Yes.
What was it?
Apartheid?
They're not apartheid business. They're not nursing. I'm talking about for recently. What happened to Thabo Mbeki?
Mr. So he got defeated.
No. I'm not talking about the defeat. Why was he removed? Jacob Zuma.
You mean?
Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma. They were linked to what?
Yeah, well, corruption.
Corruption. What are we talking about here?
Corruption.
So you want the president, for the people to remove the president because Nathaniel McGee, you
Why
said,
would anybody remove the president when the
what is the
president
history of it?
when the
Can you
president has not
compare?
been engaged in
Hold
any
on
kind
one
of
second.
corrupt
Can you
behavior?
compare? Can you compare this the liberation struggle of Jacob Zuma, Thabo Mbeki, these gallant ANC, those who fought the apartheid system, to the thing those people doing? Can you compare that with Nathaniel McGee, the what his name said, Bakugbe Jr.
Mr. So, during the struggle, and I'm not a sedition. I don't appreciate.
I didn't suggest you are.
Well, you see, this is what you do with the liberal. Where is the central right? Why is he taking long to join us? Because then I can put all of you in the basket of deplorable. All of your conservative friends, I can put all of you in the basket of deplorable right now. But let me say this to you. During the struggle of CDC, people died on CDC campus. It could have been any one of those people. The bullet that killed that young man has no name on it. So you cannot, and I hope you must, and I hope you're not, and I hope you're not going to try to somehow lessen their struggle. It was their struggle, Mr. Soe. I don't believe in a struggle because the type of struggle they were going through, I don't believe that. But it is their struggle.
What is the equivalent?
What is the equivalent? Get you, please. And so for us to sit here and somehow trying to undercut their struggle, it is unfair. Their struggle is a Liberian struggle. They believe that the government at the time were doing things that were not right for the Liberian people. And so they decided the way they feel and the way they see it to challenge the way they see it.
That's a commensurate with it.
Say because they didn't come to the level of apartheid and what have you. No, I don't agree with it.
Okay, but
that was that struggle.
Do you also agree time has involved? Does it commensurate with what is unfolding today? It's a
what now?
It's equivalent to the situation today, for which, because you claim the struggle, so is their entitlement, and that the interest of the country should be compromised.
And this is why some of us, and those of us that are not somehow admirer of the CDC struggle, because some of us fought against that kinds of struggle, to be honest with you. But it was their struggle, and we accept it. But now that they have taken power, it is very sad to see these people that used to be in the street demanding justice. These are the people that used to be in the street crying for war crime and economic code to come to Liberia. Now they are in power, they don't even talk about it. They wrote a beautiful blueprint and told the Liberian people, pretty much like a contract, to say this is what we're going to do for you. And Liberians accepted that blueprint. They don't even talk about it. And this is what saddens some of us, to see, because of their behavior, their entrenchment into the behavior of corrupt behavior, they refuse to see that what they're doing that is hurting Liberia. And they stated here in the Treasury Department website that because of their corrupt behavior, Liberia democracy is being eroded. This is big.
But but what your argument here, you are trying to try.
Hold on. My piece fell out of my ear. Quiet.
Yeah.
Mr. Soe, this is the liberal.
You are
what you doing with shame?
No, that's not eating. This one, I think that P4 say eating the nakre.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
You are trying to triumph these people, whatever struggle you think that is struggled, and have it on top of the interest of the country. That's
Mr. Soe, you cannot say that.
I was saying it.
Let you finish your statement with making some sort of a statement that is untrue. That's not what
okay, so let's put it this way. I think this is going to appease you. Do you think their action has betrayed the struggle?
Yes.
Yes. That's interesting.
No, it's not. That's what I've been saying all night. That's what I've been saying all night.
Where should we put them now? If someone betray you, how do you still? What is the confidence? We're seeing this happening. Hold on. All of this playing out here. If we to do a reflections on things that party chairman Moluba Molu was saying it just make the case for itself of the behaviors of these government officials and things that they are doing, the betrayal of the own revolutions that get them, not that political revolution that get them to be where they are and seeing what is unfolding here. But I can tell you, if the president do not want to be a violators of Uncle Sam, and you know what happening to Donald Trump, Mar-a-Lago, what is going on right now? They don't give a hang. This thing has been hanging over them too long time, and I think they give them to leeway to see whether, and not everybody. Look, when anything goes wrong under your watch, you as the leader, you are responsible because you did not take charge, and you allowed the cannon loose, and it went wide, and it causes destructions. You are responsible. This alarm been been sounded a long time to the president. You have Maggie, Bakuba Jr., and other people. I wouldn't be surprised when benevolent detectors, the second batch, it's a warning sign. You know, how did they do it?
Oh, there's more coming.
Yeah,
there's more coming, Mr. So, and I think that the next one,
that's the first batch there to shake you up to say, hey, you've been sleeping for so long, you need to wake up. The second batch will come. And you know, what is Liberia doing that Uncle Sam is directly or indirectly that is not involved? Forget it. You will go to China. Before you go to China, where you pass, where do you going to be? Every US dollar on the federal market, the people that know that the serial number is noted. You're not going to say Chinese. Where the China people, where that money Chinese what? Yen? No, that Japan get yen or whatever. So it's a serious problem. And like what we are hearing tonight, the conversation that is ongoing within the ruling establishment clearly shows folks are suggesting for these people to resign in order for the president to be redeemed.
But we have to be careful now. Mr. So, this is what I'm going to say about these people. Now, we're all human, and the American government themselves is quite aware of it, that people are redeemable. And that's why you have what they call punishment. The sanction is meant to be a kind of punishment for those who continue to abuse the welfare of the Liberian people, those who continue to abuse the resources of the Liberian people. And therefore, since this government is unable to check their people, make sure these things stop, the American government is coming on with sanctions as a way of punishment. Now, having had all of these things here, having said all of that, the point now is, are these people redeemable? So what happened a year down the line? These people start doing things that you as a Liberian start being proud of. People start doing things. So the liberal is on the floor, please. They start doing things. You as a Liberian start being proud. They start employing people, making people to work, and what have you. The sanction most likely will go away. Now, the point here is this, Mr. So. The point here is this, and I want you and many of your conservative buddies to understand this. People can be redeemed. Let's look at it from our perspective. And therefore, this thing here is not finished yet. There will be another sanction most likely going to come, but this time most likely will include the law. I mean the third branch of government or the judiciary. Now, Mr. So, when these things happen, the end result is going to be difficult on the executive than it will be on the judiciary. I mean,
you are leading okay now, and I'm going to hold you right there because I'm not going to allow you to spill this out here. You are leading this conspiracy to make it more difficult, and that's why you are in so much in the sort of appealing tone here.
I'm not celebrating anything.
I don't agree with it. That's my opinion. I don't agree with what you are doing. You are facilitating. You are betting what is happening. The president is the president. I never elected. Natana Magi was never elected. Bakuba Jr. was never elected. The president, whether we voted for or not, the president was elected to steer the affairs of the nations, to have a stable and more functioning to all Liberians, whether you are a member of the ruling establishment or not. Here we are, you have 3 persons, and it's a warning sign. If the president do not want to be, because the next thing, they're going to go to your immediate people. The next thing, they're going to take his asset. He got asset here. The next thing, indirectly. That's how Uncle Sam, when they're ready to hate, you see the Republican here, the crying baby cry here, and this, that. No. When they're ready to take their action, they take their action. It's not like a punishment. That thing where you're talking, they're not total quote we're talking about here. Okay, today I steal, the next day I can't. Yes, sorry. No, this is long overdue. These people were warned. The abuse of power, corruption. You know the meniscus thing here, 2016, it was heavily passed in both government, both branches, lower and upper, and they began to tighten it, to expand it. So they're not joking. I think when you're talking, oh, we move them down the road. They take it. The decision was taken because they violated basic human rights, corruption. The name for Liberian people.
Let me be a little bit ridiculous as well.
Let me just finish. The same Liberian people were asking when McGill were talking, I tell them when they head. That's not what the people do, things out of ignorance, and that I can say. But this is a law, and the law has to be enforced, not because of the people today, but for the future and future generation to come, for good governance and better state. So that's not total quote we are.
So let me be this ridiculous again. Let's just remember, America is a country. Liberia is not a banana republic. Liberia is a country, sovereign country, Republic of Liberia. We have our own laws. Mr. Soe, you can't push us around as much as you think. These people Mr. Soe, the liberal is talking. You can't push us around because you think you have a sanction, a sanction gun holding over our head. However, we appreciate it, because what Uncle Sam have done is to let people know
why you
what kind of business are not seeing in America as well? On the floor, I'm talking to men that he coming with all a journalistic behavior and conservative behavior, interrupting the liberal talking something good. The people listening to the liberal, they like the liberal. Everybody here tonight praising the liberal. Why you not listening to me? But the point on a very serious note, Mr. So the point that I'm making is what Uncle Sam have done is this: to say if this government is incapable of making people to understand that you can't strangle the little money that the people are giving you, you're going to enrich yourself with coming high. And this is exactly what is happening. So we appreciate that. My argument is this: until the president is connected, whatever sanction they have, at this point, these people are friends to the president. The president trusts these people, and they also trust the president. So since each of them, if every one of them trusted each other, I'm saying to them, do the honorable thing, resign. Don't push the brother to fire you, or don't push the brother to take other action. The brother, your own brother, is going to be traveling to the United States, coming here among other African leaders. He must have a good place to stand when he stand out there, not having something sanction people. Because when he leaves the Liberia, you sure he leave McGill's in charge. Were you going to leave McGill's in charge now? Liberia said they don't want to do business with McGill. You leave McGill in charge. What happened then? Every other country in Liberia, in the national community, might say they don't want to do business with McGill. Are they going to be wrong? No.
They don't want
for us not to get to that point, McGill and the two other honorable men need to resign.
Okay, let me go to and pick this call up here. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Mr. Soe, good evening. This is Sandy from New Mexico.
Sandy, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, it's good to be on the show. It's been a while since I think that. Yeah, it's good. It's good to be here. The topic of discussion is interesting. It concerns our country. It concerns all of us Liberians. whether in the country or the country. I want to say also good evening to my uncle in studio there, who's Samson Toh. You know, Mr. Toh is agreeing to the issues. He's making some good suggestions that those involved or that have been sanctioned to resign. But then he's arguing that Liberia is a nation that should not be pushed around by Americans.
Then, Sandy, let me put one in your more here. So let's tell something to let Liberia violate U.S. sanctions. If Liberia is, let's see what will happen.
Right. So I just want to give my uncle a very simple narrative. If Uncle Samson Toh gave me money to go to Fort Town and carry on projects, and I squandered the money for my own benefit, and I repeated that action several times, I am very sure my Uncle Samson Toh will not be happy with me, especially when my uncle have given me several warnings, spoke on the issues of my corrupt acts, and warned me severally and want me to change, but I refuse. And in the presence of the people that he has given me the money to use for them, the people of Total, I continue to brag, I continue to show up, and I continue to carry on projects for my own benefit that I cannot explain to the people how I generated that money. I'm sure my Uncle Samson Toh will not be happy with me. This issue is not overnight, Uncle Samson Toh. This has been going on for several months. These people been in government for almost 5 years. And immediately when it came to power, we started seeing signs of corruption. Liberia may be a sovereign nation, an independent country, but how independent is Liberia? Doesn't Liberia rely on the United States and several other countries for resources? And you think if the people gave you their taxpayer money, they would just let you utilize it the way you want to please yourself? That's the issue. They talk about corruption. Corruption has been ongoing in Liberia for several months. We know these people are corrupt. We know the president is corrupt. You see, the issue, Mr. Soe, is that, you know, a lot of people have been listening on Facebook and, you know, other media, and they are blaming past government. Well, the past government was lucky.
Yeah, let me make it brief. A lot of the phone calls
this particular act was not.
So lastly, what I want to say, and I want to agree with my Uncle Samson Toh, that McGill and the other two should resign to save the president an embarrassment. They should resign. If not, the president should have the courage, and he should, you know, remove them from power. If not, it's going to bring a serious embarrassment to them. But I can argue that the president will not want to remove them if they don't resign, because so exposed him. But I want to thank you for allowing me to come in, and it's a good show. We'll continue to listen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go to this other number. Caller, are you there? I believe from California, or?
Yes.
Okay, good evening. So what's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening. I'm calling from California. My name is Jonathan Taya Dolake.
Okay, welcome, buddy.
And like they said, good evening to your students. And thanks for the show too as well. Let me quickly say that I listen to a lot of people talk about the issue of sanction and the lobbying. Look, lobbying isn't in isolation of the associated parts. It's quite clear that, I mean, this government created a situation for which the United States of America government is going after agents, Republic of Liberia, and wanton corruption and pillaging of our resources for personal gains. It can be recalled by fact that Mr. Samuel Toh came on air and publicly stated that he took the rule form and diverted it for use other than what the act created for the rule form. That was a violation similar to what they also charged. You can recall President that he could not provide security so Liberia should own CCTV, knowing that even in the United States of America, everyone does not have CCTV despite the electricity or unlike Liberia that does not have regular electricity. He recalled Koji saying that he will meet protesters in blood and flesh, and for sure, protesters were employed stretch at the result of the CDC COP. And Ellen Cook went as far as stating that the Solicitor General was involved in ritualistic killing, and they have been in business with Ellen Cook. That is not a making of people. So there are people trying to sway the conversation that it is people like Mr. Cummings, probably not being discussed in a show, but in other spectrum, that are lobbying in order for things to happen against the government of Pearl. But no, the American government is not too, it's not too dumb to just rely on gossip. They have substantial facts, and those are the facts they are dealing with. The best the president can do right now is not only to lay off those individuals, because there are less of associated people that will be coming out in a not too distant future.
Absolutely.
And to take decisive action against people who have been found in this area, including those who have been named. Thank you.
And probably turned in over to the Justice Department for possible prosecution. I say so. You say so too as well, something too?
Mr. So, what you say does not mean that that should be the case.
Oh, I have somebody on the line. I called them off. Oh, 612, Sarah, before we go, just make your phone. Oh, but I mean, look, the country is bigger than all of us.
I agree. I think you're missing my point here tonight.
You're not.
I think many of you are missing my point. And I'm not here to please anybody. My ain't saying your mom, you ain't saying my mom. I'm
Thank God you're not president of Nigeria. Thank God you're not president. Let me go to this number here, because you would be worse than what is happening right now. 612 number, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. So I'm Terry calling from.
Hey, Terry. Well, good evening. Welcome. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're listening. Terry.
Oh, you getting?
Yeah, we're not. Go ahead. I don't know why your line breaking.
Oh, maybe that your network. You getting me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You calling from Liberia? Or you in Burkina Faso?
No, I in Minnesota.
Okay, go ahead. I know.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that our political leaders, they're quick to forget, and they don't take cognizance of history. I believe the international community, we just went through 14 years of civil war, which was caused greatly by the international community. And all the reasons why we fought that war was on the basis of corruption. So I don't know why they will come to power and forget that the international community are always watching us. They monitor us from government to government. And yet and still we keep doing the same thing over and again. So I really don't want to give the glory to Cummings or ANC. The international community has seen the Liberian concern by protestations, by the accusations, by all you guys on social media highlighting issues in the government. They also got people on the ground to do fact finding. So this is not on the basis, even if you look at the sanction that they brought down, the allegations that they raised against these guys were all allegations that have been discussed publicly. So, I really think that Liberian politicians need to go back, and President Weah need to understand that the international community, one of the things I wanted to say is that if the international community don't favor your leadership, you have to do the right thing to remain in power, because they can do everything possible to weaken your leadership in the eyes of your own people. And we saw it, they did it to Doe, they did it to Taylor. You understand? Ellen, with all the way Ellen was corrupt, they had some level of tolerance on her leadership because they favor her. They wanted her to rule. But from the day George Weah came to power, they never favored him. He was not favored. Instead for him to, do what is right, he started allowing corruption and letting it pass. So right now, by weakening Magay is a threat to his leadership because Magay got everything on him. So how can he fire Magay? There are so many things that Magay have done for him. Firing Magay, what will become of Magay? All right? Will he talk something tomorrow after he is fired? Will
Well,
he
when
run
he talk,
away
we
and
can.
say something?
When he talk, we say maybe at the end will be liquor talk.
I think that what will happen, but my fear is if he's happy to fire Maggie got to run away from that country, because to me, Maggie got a lot of information on him, on all these dirty work that been going on underwater that you and I don't know about. So firing Maggie, what become of him? Because in one of the things, as I was reading, it stated that this guy or Maggie used warlords to threaten opposition and other people.
We saw those videos. Isn't that overnighting here? The violations they've been building this case over a year, not 7-8 months. Things here. Okay, Tarot, thank you so much. For the show, we're going to be wrapping up here. Let me go to the most liberal on this network here. Okay, let's flip the coins around with the few minutes we get to go. The opposition is spinning with it. They're taking credit. They've been mounting pressures, been making their advocate, but I for sure tell them they're not even advocating for me because they themselves not even correct, honestly. We'll put them under the microscope, the bacteria that we're going to, the political bacteria and flaws that we're going to see, they will be more than what we are having now. What should be their focus at this point? The work has already been done. Uncle Sen already prepared the dinner, gave it to people. You want to eat it, fine. You don't want to eat it, it's up to you. What should the opposition, what should be their focus at this point in time?
Their focus, first of all, is to find a footing, a good footing on the ground, because right now they're not stable. First thing, they need to stabilize themselves by finding a good foundation and finding a good footing, and then come back together the way they're supposed to do. Then you can speak for the Liberian people. But you cannot speak for the Liberian people in fragmented behavior as they have now, or in fragmented way like they do. That is not going to work. Now, Mr. Soe, the opposition in this situation, I told you already, I discounted their response or whatever their involvement, because it means nothing at this time. They've been in our country from the time Dr. Weah came to power, and all of the corruption stuff, it didn't happen overnight.
And Mr. Stable Lasso there?
Mr. Soe, will you please don't take me back to this is a different era here. This is what I do. I'm a liberal. I'm evolving. So please let me make my point. So the point here is this. The point here is this. This sanction business here, even if they don't come back to sanction the president himself, this. And I saw them Abu Kawara there today walking around as though they have won the election. Sedition better take this thing serious. If they don't, this definitely going to be the one-term administration as far as this thing is concerned. And with respect to opposition, if people take power, if the opposition take power, in less than a year, sanction list will be longer than Dr. Weah and his people's sanction list. Because if people are looking at right now, they will be more corrupt than Dr. Weah and his people. So please let them spare me. They better not come back, because if I hear any of them, I will make a whole hour show on them and tell them how corrupt they are as well.
Where do you stand?
I'm a liberal. I stand with the truth. I stand with the Liberian people. I'm not here to certify one part. I might like a candidate because I believe that candidate has something to offer. But because of that, you cannot abuse the Liberian people and I'll be quiet. You can call me unstable, whatever name you want to call. I don't care. I will be truthful, because why? Your hay fame, my mom, my hay fame, your mom. I say so. And that's about it. Mr. Soe, look, let me just tell you this. The point here is this. These three gentlemen, these three honorable gentlemen who have been in the trenches with Dr. Weah, who are close with Dr. Weah, they're friends. Don't push this young man to fire you. Don't push the young man to do reshuffle. He hasn't done reshuffle in 5 years. And that's going to be a major reshuffle. Resign publicly because of this situation that we find ourselves in. We're not guilty. We're not pleading guilt of anything. Nobody is guilty. But in the interest of the Liberian people, we will resign and let the president have a free will to appoint whoever they're going to appoint. Our country people say in branch that kind of total. They say, let me see in your hand. They say, let me see in your stomach. Let me see in your heart. So you come out and make that statement. You're resigning. Of course, the American government going to keep their eyes on you. They're not going to let it go free. But once you come out in before the end of this week and resign, Uncle Sam will say, okay, these people are taking it serious.
Then they will remove the sanction?
Excuse me?
Then they will remove the sanction?
No. The sanction's not going to be removed, but it might not be as tight as they will be if these people don't get out. But here's the other interesting thing. Uncle Sam themselves, the American government themselves know they cannot eradicate corruption in Liberia in 1 year or one section or anything like that. It takes generation. It took generation to do this, and it's going to take generation to come. Mr. Soe, I just want to thank you this evening again and give me the opportunity to express myself freely and without fear or favor. That's who I am. I'm a liberal. I evolve. At the same time, I don't eat crab with shame. And thirdly, I'm not here to please anybody because why? Your hair. Please make my picture big so that people can see me. Please make my picture big. Please make my picture big. Why is it taking you a long time to make my picture big? There we go. That's thirdly and finally, I want to say to all of you, when I come out here and face you, I must be truthful. What I believe inside of me to be true, and what I believe my God to be true. I shouldn't come here to try to bluff. I shouldn't come here to lie. I don't expect you to agree with me. That's fine. But I must be truthful with myself and my God. And what I'm suggesting, that the three gentlemen should resign, is the best way to go. My ain't saying you more. You ain't saying my more. I'm blocked. You can't do nothing to me. And besides that, I'll say thank you very much. Turn in tomorrow. I'll have my own show where I will spill more liberal behavior and liberal ideas and everything else. Thank you very much, Mr. Soe.
You done?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm going to say good night to you as well.
Yeah, I mean, we better go. But this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to be my closing argument. To our many viewers, Liberians, far, near, whatever you are, the country, no one, not even the president, and we are seeing it happening here. That's my final take. The president, no one is above the law. What is unfolding is unprecedented. These people have done their due diligence. This is something, it is a cloud now hangs over the country. I hear people saying, well, it's individual. Yeah, that individual, it could translate into a bigger one. And I can tell you these three people, they are corrupt official. I do not believe in whatever struggle, the thinker that they channeled, they deceive us. Their actions were fake. It was for political purposes. And corrupt people are not honorable people. And something told here try to dignify the behaviors, the attitudes of these people. And I love the president. I want the president to succeed. I do not agree with the policies of the government and some of the things that they are doing, their comments, their actions. But when it comes to country, we must put the country first. Something told, on the other hand, putting the interest of the individual first than that of the country. Helen Johnson Sirleaf prosecuted Julie Bryan, who was a former president. Gajue McIntosh was dismissed. I guess if Helen was the president, with this sort of sanctions slamming the presidential affairs minister, NPA, Helen will fire you overnight. You will be gone. And you're trying to appease these people because they are friends. Friends honor my vote. What a struggle, they struggle so much. Have they struggled more than any other Liberian, or they struggle more than me? They didn't. Bullet were flying, I was flying. I could have died. Was singing a hallelujah song to Prince Johnson's, acting like I was in the church choir. I was in the church choir, man. I seen your brother Tommy, he was watching, he knows what we went through the port. So I can definitely tell you, say, I struggle. These people, political struggle is all about themselves. And if the president of the Republic of Liberia, and I strongly believe he does have the country at heart, I'm not going to be like these sycophants, people who were around him, were standing with you. Those were the same words yesterday deployed with Samuel Doe. It happened to Charles Taylor. Where is Daniel Chia Jiba? Where are they today? The president when you are a leader, you have to take some decisive decision. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who starts the revolution or who ends the revolution. One who betrays the cause of the revolutions is not even a revolutionary person. We saw the action, we saw what happened in South Africa. Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma, what happened? They were linked to corruption, and what happened at the end of the day? They were removed. This sanction is indirectly knocking the doors. It falls on the step of the president's main offices. You have the chief of staff, the presidential affairs minister, who, when diplomat comes, will usher these people in the office of the president. And Uncle Sam is not telling us that anyone, so there is no statute of limitation, doing business with these people, directly or indirectly, you are abetting and facilitating this process, and you yourself will be undone. And I'm gonna wait for them to resign. Do I know when they're going to resign? The president need to fire them, possibly turn them over to the Ministry of Justice for prosecution, because they misled or they failed the cause of the revolution. And that's what the sedition, if those who are true sedition, that's what they're supposed to be calling on. But they're going to be in denial. We know that because of political purposes. The confidence is no longer there. And that was justified months back from the talking point of party chairman, who's still even a party chairman. Technically, if that party was something party, if the president had courage and conviction, he shouldn't even be party chairman. How can he even wage an effective campaign for the re-election of the president? Probably this is what he's unable to do, because things that he has said, and Nathaniel McGee has become the face of CDC. Here he is, the hormones of sanctions from Uncle Sam are slammed in. He must go. The Bible says there's a season to everything. There's a time to born, time to die. His political career is over. Even when he goes to party headquarters, it can't even help him. Let him get leave here on with God. He did not serve the purpose of this revolution he claimed to have fought for. Well, folks, we gotta leave it here. Liberal, go away in bed, and whatever you have headache, I don't care. Buy Tylenol, buy ibuprofen, buy painkiller, and you will be fine. We will not allow this liberalism to triumph over the interest of the people. Nathaniel McGee is not bigger than the country. Bakugba Jr. equally. The other gentleman equally. Unfortunately, the president played his part, and it is vividly clear. So it is time to take the bull by the horn if that country is to succeed and to make progress. Who's gonna be doing business? Nobody gonna be doing business with him. Who wants to? You hear when somebody murder you and they run to your house and police can't say, turn the person over and he say, oh, the person must have been in town, and we used to go fishing to Taiwan. We used to get catfish and grunter and all of that. So one time I want to fish, and then he got, hey, I have to get him in the town, so I'm not able to turn him in. Let me put it in that way. Liberal, is that what you're telling me here tonight? Because they are being in the trenches where they want to eat enough. Their career is over. The president needs to take the bull by the horn. Period. Nothing more or less. And that's what Uncle Sam looking up to. If he doesn't do it in the coming days, week, and we are hearing intense conversation is going on now within the establishment, calling for these three gentlemen to resign. Meanwhile, sources are telling us, and other former government officials who are also monitoring, they are looking at Ghana, they are looking at Burkina Faso, places where potential capitals of these people are kept. So is indirectly impacting the president as well. Because before that thing can they already feel like in out of the doors. So it is why it is sad to say. But as the Liberal, I want to thank you so much for such a beautiful talking point here by God's willing. What are you having tomorrow?
Same subject matter, but we're just going to expand on it more. It's going to be one-on-one.
One-on-one. Am I invited?
No.
Why?
Mr. Soe, because it's the Liberal talking point, all from 2 hours.
But I will come in, so I don't know how you want to manage it. I will enter by force. I will enter by force. Before you get to know, I'll already be in the system. Okay, the Liberal Progressives, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
and to our member viewers and listeners, I want to thank you so much for your time. Please send in your comments, your views, and we definitely going to go back to it. And probably now Wednesday, I'm waiting to see. Wednesday evening, I'm going to be having what his name is, Amos Tue. Amos Tue is the Secretary General of the Opposition Unity Party. Unity Party. Is that Joseph Boyka Party?
Yeah, I hope to be here because I need to let him know that their website continue to block my post. Which and apparently
call your Papa Joseph Boyka. Maybe that Boyka blocking it. Call Joseph Boyka. You're not advancing Guso, and then you send post that they black it. So that's why I'm calling him for. So call your Papa. You know, the stabilizer. Okay, well, folks, we want to thank you so much for your time this evening here, and that's how we're going to leave it here today.
Thank you. Good night.
This program. Yeah, thank you so much. I will be having the dear president's delight of the Liberian community in Pennsylvania. They had their own election as well, even though other people crying for election is not fair. The election would never be fair. Once Liberian people, they don't win it, it's fair. When they win it, it's okay. I want to be having her here. We want to be having a conversation, the vision for the country, for the people of Liberian community in Pennsylvania. And this is how we're going to be sending you home from our folks from Nimba County. I usually transit in Nimba when I'm heading to Grand Gita. So they are next people to me, right? And this is how we're going to leave it. Joy is down here. I would say, I'm not going to be like a liberal. The president must take a decision. That's it, period. When PRC took over, there are some people 1 day, 2 day, they didn't see, even though it was a revolution, they didn't see 1 week to the what his name, Falavani, they didn't see days to the revolution. That's it. They had their part, but the country must survive. Until then, folks, as we want to bring it down this event, I want to thank you so much for your time, your energy, your courage. It's because of you we are always here. Whether you are in Liberia, whatever you are, thank you so much. It is our obligation when we come here to be honest in what we say. You may not agree with our talking points, but for us here at LPR, we don't play into people's narrative. Meaning, if the expectation is, your expectation is high, oh, this is why he would say because it suits my political taste. Sorry, that's not who we are, and that's not what we represent. People needs to be told what they need to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear. Until then, have a pleasant event, and please stay safe. Let's keep praying for our country. Let's pray for our president. Let you have the vision, conviction to take decisions. Government is not to run a government. It's not a friendship club, not even a social club. He played his part by allowing them to serve because of what they all went through. And if they are unable to maintain that, then of course they have to go. I'm quite sure there are some other qualified citizens who can do that. And if I were advising the president, that's exactly what I want to be advising the president. This sanction is huge, it's significant. There's no status of limitation to it. If you associate with them, they will come after you. He's the Minister of State. Before you say he's the president, he usher you in. How the foreign diplomat business, we're talking about investors. So who the investor now want to see before going to the president? Or he must just be a ceremonial person? They should go to tour, and other people, we don't even know what's going to be coming next. At this time, he's no longer an asset to the government, to the president, and the people of Liberia. He is a liability, and there's no room to accommodate liability. He has served, he has played his part. It is time to move on. That's what I would tell the president. Thank you. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making empty promises. Promises with no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days, money in your pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Oh yo, hey, what about the children? What about the people? What about your families? What are gonna eat though? Yeah, so safety and waiting. Yeah, so waiting and we happy. They don't really care about you. They don't care, my people, it's true. They don't want to see you break through. The whole country's getting confused. Corruption, no questions. The country's going in the wrong direction. Leaders, I barely many mentions. We don't know where the